feels like. When you got 80,000 cases, I guess.
All right, the court will call CR 2025-232, State of Arizona versus Richard Baptiste and Anisha Woods. Mr. Baptiste is present in custody with counsel. Mr. Hamlin, present as well. Miss Woods is present by Zoom from the county jail. Miss Woods, can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. Her counsel, Mr. Lee, is present here in the courtroom. On behalf of the state, Ms. Collins is present on the Zoom call as well. On behalf of victims, Ms. Clace is present on the Zoom call. Mr. Friedley is present from the county attorney's office here in the courtroom. Date and time set for a status pretrial conference in this matter. I will start with Mr. Hamlin, and I will address all of the parties at least eventually. Mr. Hamlin, where are we as far as your case goes? How are things progressing?
Judge, we filed a motion for a new probable cause determination. And so I believe the state will be responding to that soon. We'll need a ruling on that. Still don't have an autopsy, which I think is pretty problematic this far into it. We did receive some recent disclosure with regard to some forensic interviews. But until we get the autopsy, we're kind of at a standstill.
All right. Trying to think how most effective. I guess I'll turn to Mr. Lee. I definitely will address both that motion for a finding of new probable cause as well as the autopsy. Any other issues you need to address for today?
No, other than just that I also filed a separate motion and that remains.
Is that regarding the new PC or
yes, the new PC. Judge.
I see.
It's the same motion as Mr. Hamlin's basically, but you know, that really the autopsy is unsettling, and I don't think that those hearings, any hearing on new finding of probable cause, I don't know how you can do that without an autopsy report. And so everybody's waiting for that. And I don't know what the status of it is. We get no information. So we're still waiting.
All right. I will address those briefly before turning to the state here in a moment, at least as far as I can. The court's well aware of the motion for finding of new probable cause or a new probable cause finding. I believe the court has just administratively through the presiding judge identified a separate judge from myself who sat on the probable cause findings. He's prepared to rule on that after the response is received, if any. And I believe he has the recordings, etc., necessary to review that. So we have that ready to send as soon as those deadlines for that review begin. As far as the court goes, I can't promise anything, and I, of course, won't be communicating directly with that judge regarding that, but hopefully the judge will be able to address those issues in a timely manner. The only, I guess, that is really the update for the parties on that. I know that is a very preliminary issue, legally speaking, that would need to be resolved before we can progress too much further. And that would potentially affect a lot of our timelines, especially trial timelines. If that was granted, there would be, if probable cause was found, a new arraignment date, etc. I don't have anything to address except questions that I'll address to the state regarding the autopsy report. On that note, I will turn to Ms. Collins. As far as, especially, I am a little bit concerned, maybe it's standard practice, but I haven't seen that where the autopsy report itself has taken such an extensive period of time to be disseminated. Any update that you have, any information regarding that, Ms. Collins?
So yes, Judge. And I agree with you that typically we see it sooner than now. We actually reached out over the sort of the holiday break, trying to determine when we would receive the report from the OME. And we spoke to someone from Maricopa County Attorney's Office for the OME, and that is just in terms of the best communication we can have. Oftentimes when we have called the Office of the Medical Examiner, we kind of just get voicemails and we don't get a direct person. But we spoke to someone from Maricopa County on the behalf of OME, and they told us on January 5th that the OME case had not yet been completed. And the note that I received back from Kim Miles from Maricopa County is typically 90% of their cases are complete within 90 days. However, cases involving child abuse take longer. And so that's where we're at, Judge. Without arguing the merits of the motion, I disagree a little bit with the idea that the autopsy is necessary for a probable cause hearing. But that's, I think, a discussion for another day. So from my perspective, Judge, we are working on getting the autopsy report. The order is in. We've done everything from the state's perspective we can to get the report. So it is simply waiting on the doctor.
All right. I do appreciate that review and the efforts that are being made there. And I agree that the court at least didn't intend to address any substantive issues regarding that. I am a little surprised again regarding the timeline. It sounds like, at least from Maricopa County Medical Examiner's position, that this may not be out of the usual, but I do appreciate anything that Patch County Attorney's Office, Pima County, or anyone else may be able to do to try to encourage that, because from the defense perspective, all counsel has made very clear they very much need that information to continue their trial preparations and, of course, probable cause findings, anything like that. It would be useful and or helpful for the parties to have that. But I don't know that there's any drop dead or dependent issues on that being done. At least from the court's perspective, overall, I'm sure the defense attorneys have their position as they've stated. Ms. Collins, are there other issues that you need to address in this matter as we look forward?
No, and Judge, just one more note on that. We have informed the Maricopa County Office of the Medical Examiner of our trial date. We confirmed that they have our subpoena. So I just wanted to give you those extra notes that they are aware we have a trial set on June 1st. So,
all right.
Other than that, Judge, I don't have anything further. The state does intend to get the response filed to the motions from defense later this afternoon. And then it looks like from beyond that, Judge, maybe just setting a status conference. I don't have any other issues.
Your Honor, do you believe a court order would be ignored?
There is already a court order. I mean, Mr. Lee, that's the problem, is we already had the court order when we did the subpoena a few months ago. I'm not sure if there's anything addition.
Yeah.
Do you have a contempt petition in your filing?
I don't think I'm going to file a motion for contempt on the medical examiner's office, but I don't mean to make jest of something so serious. I do agree that it would be nice if there was something additional to do. The state has done everything in its power to make the request to confirm that everything has been done from our end. I don't know what else.
All right. Thank you. And I recognize the position from both parties and where we are there. I don't see anything additional that the court could do at this time, or that the court will do at this time, that might assist there. I think having the court date, having the subpoena, having the follow-up that's obviously taking place, that there's about as much pressure right now that I would know reasonably to expend on the ME's office to get that report done. Ms. Clace, on behalf of victims, is there anything that you need to address for our hearing today?
Not today, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I agree with Ms. Collins that right now, probably the best we can do is to set a status conference to address especially the motion for new probable cause finding. That independent of at least a medical examiner, I expect that we'll be able to move forward on. Again, I won't commit and won't be having any direct communication with the judge, whatever judge is assigned to review that. But just looking at timelines, both now Ms. Collins has mentioned her response being filed. I think that could go out to the judge pretty quickly. Looking ahead at the calendar, I identified as a possible effective date for a status conference when I at least think we'll have the probable cause determination, I believe, decided by. Looking at Monday, March the 16th or Monday, March the 23rd for that status conference. One of those days is already set for Mr. Hamblin. One of those days is already set for Mr. Lee, but not on these cases. Ms. Collins, anything about those dates that will or won't work for the state?
That is the one time of the year, every year I take 2 weeks off that you just mentioned, Judge. So I would like to be a part of it. I know Brad, Mr. Roach can be here, Conrad can be here as well, but I think it might be more of a substantive hearing. So if it's possible to either do the week before or the week after the 9th or the 30th, I would prefer that.
All right. The 9th, I know, is our local spring break week, and so I'm a little bit hesitant to do that. I don't know how that affects different parties, but it might affect me. I am available on Monday, the 30th of March. Are there any objections or issues regarding that day?
That's fine, Judge.
And because that's a fifth Monday, it's kind of a fallback for both Mr. Hamblin and Mr. Lee, and so that might be a reasonable time to
They're
check
starting to
in.
charge me rent around here, Judge, so I'll be here.
Miss Clace, any objection to a status conference Monday, March the 30th?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
And Mr. Friedley, any issues with that date?
No issues, Judge. Thank you.
What time, Judge?
All right, we'll set status conference Monday, March 30th at 8. No, sorry, I remembered what case we're talking about here because other cases are very likely. My thought would be to set this at 11, and I'd be very hopeful that we'll be able to get off closer to 11 than we did today. Are there any objections to that 11 o'clock hour?
No, Your Honor.
All right.
No,
I
Your
do
Honor.
apologize
Wait.
for calling the case later than intended today. Usually our Monday calendars are resolved by 11 a.m., but they weren't today. So,
Judge, if I could just raise one matter, given I'm looking at the dates before as I see everyone packing up. One of the conversations we had in a previous hearing was the jury questionnaire or the ability to have a discussion about how many jurors that we would sort of have pre-selected for this date. If our next hearing is not until March 30th, that puts us 2 months from trial. I don't know if that is enough time to get questionnaires out and have the conversation about the number prior to then. And just something to think about, Judge. I think it may be too late if we wait until March 30th.
yeah. The big issue, at least in the court's mind, is whether or not resolving the motion for new probable cause finding and not prejudging whether or not that will be granted. If that is granted, of course, that's going to cause us a lot of required changes to a number of things. But I do appreciate the note that might be a little bit late. Mr. Hamlin, Mr. Lee, I could set our next status instead about a month earlier on March the 2nd. Any position regarding that?
I think that would be more appropriate, Judge, and I can attend that.
I would prefer an earlier date.
You all right?
Yep.
All right. So I apologize. Instead of the status conference on March 30th, we will set status conference Monday, March the 2nd at 11 o'clock a.m. All the council may appear by Zoom if they wish that date. Depending on the other issues, we may or may not have any update there, but we at least will be in a position to probably talk about juror questionnaires and other issues that might take some time prior to our currently set June 1st beginning trial date. All right. Anything additional from any of the parties for today?
No, other than I do have one more quick question, Judge, since I've got you. Have you looked into, we had previously discussed whether or not we would take a week off because of the judicial conference? Any update on that?
Yes, I've at least preliminarily looked into that, and I believe that the requirements on me would require a week off for that week of the judicial conference. And I have those dates if anybody needs them. But right now, it looks like we would probably have to take the week off for trial. It's possible that we could hold some court on Monday and or Friday, but I would be talking to the parties. I'd probably be more likely to just take the week off, allow the jurors the week off, and then continue on the next week.
Thank you, Judge, for the update. I
All
don't
right.
have any further questions.
Thank you all very much. We'll be adjourned for today and visit with you again on March 2nd.
Thank you.